because first of all, because the Flow has taken the 83.5 over on
baby.
Twins wins this year.
So we're pulling for them.
We got 25 buckaroos on that bet, so hopefully they pay off. I think they have the potential to. Will they? I'm not sure. Adhere Adrianza, 4 hits last night. The dude's been absolutely ripping the ball.
4 of the team's 5 hits.
I know. And Polanco's now in his minor league comeback, basically. Yeah. So, really interesting situation
with
there.
Sano and Buxton.
Yes. And Nick Gordon's batting him, last time I checked, 310 in AAA, too. So, we basically have 4 middle infielders, all of which are decent. So, and again, we'll talk about this more later, but signing Brian Dozier is seeming more and more unpractical just from a baseball operations standpoint. From a team culture standpoint and Twins fan base, obviously you want him back. But
yeah, he's the center.
If you look at the roster, the reason you have prospects, if you're a small to middle market team, is that you don't give out those big contracts to guys that are right around that 30-plus number, and you let your young guys take over. It's how baseball's always done it. So really interesting to watch. But Rick, from the you work very closely with the Twins, but you don't have the history
I don't have
necessarily.
The bias, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you
Not tainted.
What do you think about the Twins finishing above 500 this year?
Oh my gosh! Well, you'd think that they'll figure it out at some point with Sano coming back and Buxton coming back eventually, and obviously Polanco coming back. But their pitching lately has been so bad. Odorizzi hasn't had a good outing in 2 months.
He started off great. No, his first, I think his first 8 to 10 starts were pretty dang good. About a 3 ERA, and since then it's been garbage. And for perspective, right now the Twins are 34-42. My Minnesota math tells me that's 8 games under 500. So not unbelievable. You're a good 5-6 week stretch away from capping that, but still. The bats have somehow been decent, but again, Logan Morrison not batting about 200.
Yeah.
Buxton's got about 100 plus at bats under the Mendoza line. Sano's in the minor leagues, and somehow we're actually not horrible. Lance Lynn has been very good lately, which has been nice because his first 6 starts, I thought he was going to get sent down. I'm just killing myself.
Yeah, his fastball command has gotten a lot better. So is Kyle Gibson's. I mean, before
it's been good.
Even last night he gave up 3 runs against the White Sox.
Sox just could hit the ball. They have talent. The White Sox have talent. It's not a good team, but they have talented players.
Baseball's just difficult like that. You're not going to dominate teams. I mean, the Cubs just got swept by the Reds in Cincinnati. And things like that just happen. But
Moncada did some crazy last night too. Twins fans, you're going to be watching him for 15 years and just saying, wow.
He's fun to watch. Definitely like Yohan Moncada. Had one big error a few weeks ago that was really bad, but made a nice defensive play yesterday. Diving play. But to wrap that up, I don't see the Twins going above 500 this year. Period.
If I had to put money on it, which I have done, I'm going to say yes. Practically speaking, I think it'd be tough to do. I think the East and the West have been, especially the West, has been a little bit deeper and more talented than people expected. Obviously, the East is really tough. You have to get wins in the Central, and frankly, we're struggling to beat Detroit and the White Sox. We've handled the Royals, I'm pretty sure. But
lost 2 of 3 in Kansas City, late May, early June, wherever that was. But they'll still have more games to play. They just dominated the AL Central last year. I think they were 34-16 against
something
all
like
teams
that,
except for Cleveland. So it's tough.
Okay. MLB, it's really interesting. Really, now that every other sport is done, start locking in on Major League Baseball.
Yeah, go out to Wrigley Field this weekend. We'll be there Saturday in the bleachers, bleacher bums.
Come say what's up.
The Budweiser bleachers. It'll be a fun time.
Alex Zappa at Zappa Time 2. Ricky at Need Mo Pimo. Tweet at us, and we can talk some anything at Wrigley Field. I'll be ready. I will be primed up. I can promise you that.
Yeah, we'll have the rallies ready to go.
2 NBA awards. We'll just go down the list a little bit, and some of these are talkers. Lifetime Achievement Award. The Big O gets it, which is kind of ironic because everyone just hates him. And now he's so far removed from that hatred that people look back at his career and say, oh, wow, Oscar, you were really good. So he gets Lifetime Achievement Award. Very average acceptance speech, but regardless, he deserves it. First triple-double guy ever.
Yeah, the Big O. Oscar Robertson. Good for him.
Former Milwaukee Buck. Interesting. Teammate of the year, along with coach of the year, go to people who are not going to be with their organizations that they were previously. Jamal Crawford got the teammate of the year. Deserving.
Yeah. Awesome dude. And teammate of the year throughout the whole organization. Just a great guy. Very classy. Always friendly. Looks you in the eye. Says hello. Just to random people walking by. Family man. He's been in the league forever. There was an article Sports Illustrated did about him at the beginning of the season.
Awesome, yeah.
He holds these camps in Seattle for free to get kids involved in basketball. They said Isaiah Thomas, of the Lakers, Isaiah Thomas, he wouldn't be playing. He wouldn't be in the NBA if it wasn't for Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, because they came from the same town. Yeah.
Great guy.
And you heard rumblings, and go check out the Krasinski show. He's kind of all over this, but wasn't necessarily maybe happy with his playing time. His defense was horrendous. I literally was listening to the Krasinski show. I think he said something like 116 points per 100 possessions when Jamal's on the court. That's not good. So helps our defense. But again, I'm just echoing what John said, and it's true. From a basketball standpoint, strictly on the court production, it's probably best that he's moving on, and I would tend to agree because he had a little bit of jack it up syndrome to him. Given the second unit would have no idea what they're doing. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Hey, Jamal, here's the ball. Figure it out. And so that's not fair.
Yeah, well, what scorer did they have in that second unit?
Nobody.
Belly wasn't healthy most of the season.
He would try, and then you dribble off of his knee. And it's like, Belly, just shoot threes, man. That's all you got to do. Just chill.
Jamal, good presence, though, on the Wolves this season.
Coach of the year, Dwayne Casey from Toronto. He gave a good speech. Tough position to be in. The speech was good. Toronto, he's now with the Pistons, so look for that next year.
Oh, the Blake Griffin Pistons.
Mm-hmm. Most improved player, Victor Oladipo. I completely agree. Unbelievable season by him. I believe he was second team All-NBA. In my opinion, maybe should have been first over Dame Lillard in retrospect. Right behind him, Clint Capella and Spencer Dinwiddie.
Well, he left Westbrook.
Dinwiddie, excuse me.
Dinwiddie, yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie. Great defender for Toronto.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nets, Dinwiddie. Yes.
Excuse me. I was thinking of Van Fleet for a second. Fred Van Fleet, great defender. Dinwiddie, though, getting buckets for Brooklyn. But Oladipo left Westbrook, and he got better. Just joins the list of players to leave Westbrook's side and improve.
And he credits him for giving him a little bit of that Mamba mentality of showing him the work you have to put in and just kind of the mental preparation to become that type of elite player. Again, took LeBron to 7 games. Nothing to sneeze at, with the supporting cast of Miles Turner, Sabonis, Lance Stevenson, and Thad Young. I mean, not riveting NBA names or reputations. Next on the list, Defensive Player of the Year, our boy Rudy Gobert. Right behind him, Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid. First time he's ever won it, a guy that is known for his defense finally got rewarded. Yeah,
a big man in the West. There's a lot of them. Cat really has his troubles facing Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert owns Cat a little bit. He's got his number. Next on the list, 6th man. This was maybe one of the easiest to pick. Lou Williams. Pretty sure he averaged above 20 points per game coming off the bench for the Clips. Other candidates, Eric Gordon, who won it last year, and the boy you just mentioned, Fred Van Fleet, the starting PG for the second unit of the Toronto Raptors.
Yep. Lou Williams, good guy.
I love him.
Balls out.
He's basically Jamal Crawford 10 years ago, similarly.
Pretty much, yeah. Left Houston last year after what could have been a crazy backcourt again, but Clippers, they just revamped their backcourt, got rid of Austin Rivers. Can you believe that? Dad traded his son away. It's going to be an awkward conversation.
What's interesting is that Doc got demoted, though. He's just the coach now, so he doesn't run basketball ops. And so that's what kind of Twitter was freaking out about is this bad blood now between Doc and, the staff, blah, blah. It's like, shut up, we'll see. Just relax. You don't need to write the article yet. We don't know. The award that probably had the most controversy, Rookie of the Year, pardon my French, Ben Simmons takes it home, although the Jazz organization as well as Donovan Mitchell were trolling him because they didn't think he was a rookie.
Not a rookie.
Not necessarily the conversation to be had. Donovan Mitchell right behind him, along with Jason Tatum, an extremely good Rookie of the Year class.
Yeah, Jason Tatum drafted 3rd overall last year, I think.
Yes, he was.
Just balled out.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Brought Boston
because Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, Jason
Ball.
Tatum. Yep. I'm like, who was that second pick?
It was Ben Simmons all the way. I mean, really, he just does it all. And he got Philly to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. Yes, Donovan Mitchell had some crazy offensive games. Probably would have won it last year, right? If Ben Simmons, obviously wasn't in this year's Rookie of the Year candidacy, but crazy.
And it's an interesting award just going down the list. Tim Duncan won it. AI won this award. Paul Gasol, Amari Stoudemire, LeBron James, Emeka Okafor also won. Tariq Evans also won. Blake Griffin, Kyrie, Dame, Michael Carter-Williams has won this award. Wiggins, Cat. Last year was Malcolm Brogdon. So
the Prez.
A lot of elite players, but not necessarily an award that if you win it, you have a stamp ticket to the HOF. And last but not least, the Beard, James Harden, gets the MVP over our guy LeBron James and AD. What AD did when Boogie went down, extremely impressive. How LeBron, I think he averaged 27, 8, and 9, something close to those figures. Really unbelievable season by all of those guys. Houston had the best record. Yeah. They just gave it to him.
Yeah, you can talk about how controversial it is in the NBA's MVP award, which who wins it? It's really, there's no precedent, and it's just like, oh, well, we think this guy deserves it this year when, LeBron could win it every year sort of deal. Westbrook averaged a triple-double back-to-back years. This year he wasn't even a candidate for top 3.
It's bizarre.
Weird.
It's all about perception. The interesting thing to note, a list which includes some of these names of one-time MVP players. The Big O only has one MVP. Bill Walton, whose injury got derailed by injuries, but was a fantastic player, has one MVP. Dr. J, one MVP. Charles Barkley, David Robinson, AI, KG, and KD.
Just one MVP each.
Really good list, though. So an MVP puts you on the map. It's not a mistake. You win an MVP, you're one of the all-timers. So James Harden enters the conversation as, a generational player now in this 2010s era.
Was this just the year to give him the MVP sort of deal? That's tough.
It'll be interesting to see if he goes back-to-back. Because, again, Curry and KD almost washed themselves out a little bit because they're on a team that just you have to distribute so much. LeBron's getting older. I don't know. We'll see what happens going forward. Pretty interesting stuff. That's NBA. So we should to the Women's League, the WNBA.
Yeah, and I was doing some archiving of the WNBA this season for our family at Fox.
What do you got?
Maya Moore is a baller, bro. She assists
hoops
on every single basket the Lynx scores.
She's amazing.
Seems like. Her transition game is awesome. She could just run up the court, pull up from 3, make
she balls.
It. Simone Augustus, she's had the last good few games. Fouls. Beast. Is she the best center?
Yeah, she won MVP either last year or 2 years ago.
Her or Griner on the Mercury, Phoenix Mercury, might be one. Yeah, Fouls could be the best center in the WNBA.
Yeah, she's totally in the conversation. They've won 5 straight, and the betting world has unfortunately adjusted. I wanted to start hitting them hard, but against the Seattle Storm, they played 2 days ago. They were like minus 210 favorites, and they shouldn't have been. Their records were pretty similar.
Sue Bird was.
In fact, I think the Storm were ahead of them in the standings, and somehow the Lynx are basically 2-1 favorites. And I'm just thinking, well, Vegas has caught on. They know that the Lynx are great and that they're 100% title contenders still. So shout out Cheryl. Shout out the Cheryl Reeves Show. Sidebar, went to Freehouse. Really cool spot, actually. They sponsor that show, and I was all about it. Really cool destination. So that's WNBA. Quick sidebar on football. Did a mock draft 3 days ago. I was triggered 100%. Had a great team. All about it.
Is it too soon for a mock draft?
100%, but I'm just that type of guy. Another sidebar. Janoris Jenkins, there was a body found in his house a couple days ago. Along with, on the same day, a body was found at the Atlanta Braves baseball stadium in a freezer. So speaking of Sopranos, which we're going to get to right now.
The mob's back.
The mob is back. The mob is back. Alert the media. The mob is back. Rick, all right, we're spending the next 7 minutes on Sopranos. There are spoilers, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about. So if you don't want it to be spoiled, tune out. That's fine. But we're going in. So let's get after it. First, what do you want to talk about first? I mean, there's so much.
There's so much to talk. I want to talk about favorite characters.
Yes.
Paulie Walnuts, great guy. I think he's one of the most
he's my Mount
underrated-
Rushmore of